Hey everybody, this is Joric. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well today. I want to talk to you about something that if you're thinking about moving to Portugal and you're considering all the options, everything that goes into it, something that's going to pop up right away in your consideration and you're going to see it often is something called a NIF, an NIF. And I'm going to talk to you today about what it is, how important it is, how often you're going to use it, and how it's a little different than what you're used to in the United States because we really don't have something like this in the US. So welcome. I'm going to put a lot of information about the NIF in the description. So please make sure that you subscribe. Look in the description for this information as well as my other videos that are going to be talking about all things Portugal and all things travel. So here goes. What's a NIF? A NIF is your personal tax ID number. So think of it this way. In the United States, you have your Social Security number, which we also do here in Portugal. You have TINs, tax ID numbers in the US, which are for businesses as well as some small self-employed businesses as well. You have that tax identification number. Also have tax ID numbers here in Portugal for businesses. But this is almost like a personalized tax ID number. So what happens is when you're looking for property, going to set up a bank account, looking for residency, this is one of the first things that you need to sort out and apply for is this NIF. And it's basically a fiscal number or a tax contribution number that you're going to use throughout your life living in Portugal. And you may ask the question, so what are we going to use it for? And the answer is everything that you purchase, you will be using this NIF, or in Portuguese, they'll call it NIF. The I's are pronounced similar to E's here in many cases. So if someone asks you for a NIF, they're actually talking about a NIF. But if you can imagine buying groceries, use your NIF. Going to the doctor, use your NIF. Pharmacy, the cafe, furniture, apartment, cars, you name it, any goods or services that are going to be purchased, you're going to be asked for this number. If you don't ask, sometimes you're not going to get asked for it. You'll want to make sure that you tell them this is your NIF. Sometimes they call it a contribunt or your contribution number, but it's the most important number that you're going to have as you're moving abroad and moving to Portugal here. And it's as important as your social, and you're going to use it more often. And what's interesting, it takes some getting used to because for us, coming from the US, you don't openly give out your social security number. I mean, unless you're the CEO for LifeLock and says, here, go try to steal my social, most people aren't going to give that out. Dates of birth, things of that nature, any type of personal information, we try to keep that kind of to ourselves, and we don't let that out unless we have to for employment purposes or for tax purposes. Here in Portugal, the NIF is a number that once you get it, it's something that you don't have any problems giving it to the cashier when you're getting groceries or to the receptionist at the doctor's office because it's something, although it's personal to you, it does not benefit anyone else to use it or take it, because if they were to use your NIF, it's only going to benefit you when it comes to taxes. So basically, in short, what it does is throughout the year, you utilize it, you keep using your number for everything that you purchase, and at the end of the year, you'll get a notice that says, hey, you need to go in and make sure that you reconcile all of these purchases, whether it be getting a prescription, going to the doctor. We seem to, in the last year that we've been here, a lot of our grocery purchases at different stores, we had to go in and verify what type of purchase it was. But once you go through and reconcile what you used your NIF for, that helps the Portuguese government determine what kind of tax burden you have or what type of refund you may get. So it's a really cool thing to have and to use. It's something that you memorize right away, as quick as you memorize a social or someone's phone number. But that's something that's very different, and it takes a little bit getting used to if you're coming specifically from the United States to Portugal, because if you're doing that, you're not inclined to give anybody any information. And here you'll kind of get thrown off by going, what? I got to give this out for all of my purchases? Yeah, but again, it's not something that's going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. The hardest thing that you have to do is to make sure that on every transaction, you make sure that the cashier or going through online transaction, you remember to give them your NIF so you don't miss out on any tax refund or less tax burden at the end of the year. So that was a quick video. I wanted to make sure that as you are seeing NIF or fiscal number or contribution number pop up as you're looking for real estate, banking, or some of the lifestyle websites that are talking about moving to Portugal, they're going to reference this number. So I wanted to make sure that you had some understanding from someone that is from the US that's living here, has experience with it, and it's actually no big deal, and it's pretty cool. Actually using it for the last 16, 17 months actually makes me think that we should be using it back in the United States more often. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please look in the description for information on how to obtain a NIF and what it's used for, and have a great day.